Hello and welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity, the power of a proper human diet. Today I'm thankful, grateful, blessed. We have our Carnivore Q&A Thursday night live stream where we answer any and all questions you have. We are not doctors. We are just individuals, so we're not giving medical advice. But if you have a question, please post it in the sidebar with the QQQ. And we're going to be doing some giveaways as well. I'm going to announce that real quick before we do a couple introductions here. We are going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt to start things out. So please post your best question with hashtag ribeye. Best question with hashtag ribeye. You can post your best question or your carnivore testimony. If you found healing eating a proper human diet, please post that as well. Adam, Lacey, Ashley, Barb, Lynn, how's it going?
Fantastic, Kerry. How are you?
Hello, doing great.
Hello.
We are.
Hi.
Hey, Barb.
There's some background noise coming from somebody.
It's me. I got to figure out how to mute. I apologize.
Oh, okay. No worries. We are honored to have Barb joining us here Thursday night Q&A. Looking forward to that. Barb has an amazing YouTube channel also. There are links in the description below for Adam, Ashley, Barb, and Lynn's YouTube channel. And in order to win some of these giveaways, you have to make sure that you are subscribing to each of these individuals. It only takes like 2 seconds below. Before we jump into your questions, do we have any announcements, Ashley?
Well, we do. I'll make sure I was off mute. Sorry. We do. Literally, and we have to announce this again later on in the stream. So I'm going to try and remind you later on in the stream as people are jumping on, because it's only 2 days away until we're in San Diego for our San Diego meetup. And I'm super excited about that. It seems like we haven't done a meetup in a while. We've had Christmas break. We've had some vacations. We've had different things going on, and I'm excited to get back to it. San Diego meetup. It's going to be great. So that's Saturday, January 17th. It's not too late to get tickets. Unfortunately, we are sold out of the VIP dinner tickets, but the meetup itself, which should be about a 4 or 5 hour day of just amazing healing stories and Q&A panel updates on the documentary, which I know everybody's anxious about. So super excited. So it's not too late. If you're in the area or close enough to come by, please get your tickets and love to see you. And then after that, I'm advertising in my background tonight because I'm also excited about our Charleston meetup in South Carolina. That's going to be February 21st. February 21st. Excellent opportunity to get together. We've got a great venue that everybody's welcome at to come get some all-you-can-eat meat for our meal. Get the chance to meet Mimi Morgan, who is, I know, a big feature in the documentary you filmed. And I'm excited to personally meet her. I haven't met her yet. And then, of course, two of my favorites, Lynn and Jim Tucker, are going to be there. And, of course, Kerry, Adam, Lynn, myself, we're all going to be there, and maybe some others. So super excited. Get your tickets for that one. If you're in the South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, drive on in. Let's go. Have a fun meetup.
Forward to it. It's going to be exciting. So, there's a link in the description for all of our upcoming events if you want to go. And we will also be at Meat Stock in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that is in May. And I think there's some tickets left, but it's probably going to sell out. So if you're interested in going to Meat Stock, you can go to meatstockconvention.com and use promo code Adam Remembers Healing Humanity, I think it is.
I thought you were telling everybody the code was Adam Remember.
That's what I thought too.
The right code.
That's a weird code.
Yeah. The code is Healing Humanity.
Healing Humanity. They'll get you a discount on those tickets. Act soon though, because that one's going to fill up quick. It's crazy. Dr. Barry's going to be there. Dr. Berg, Michaela Peterson, heck of a lineup, and Healing Humanity is going to have a large presence there as well, including some individuals, several individuals we filmed for the documentary. With some big, exciting events happening around Healing Humanity there as well. So hope you'll join us at Meat Stock.
Hey, and I just have to say that in the morning, I am meeting Scott Everson in Gatlinburg, and we're going to go look at the speaker's cabin and the venue and the convention center.
Nice.
So getting close, and yes, tickets are going fast. So please get yours.
Don't wait. Everyone always waits, and then they're like, I wish I would have known. Go. Go get it. Go get it before it's too late. All right. Should we jump into some questions here? Let's see what we got. We have a new member. Thank you for that. 2 new members, Lisa as well. We've got a comment here from Jimmy. Been on the carnivore diet for almost 9 years now and lost 102 pounds.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
over 10 10-pound bowling balls. AFib, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, and feel great at 65 years young.
Yes.
Amazing.
9 years. That's awesome.
And AFib. I know we hear a lot about diabetes and we hear a lot about weight loss, but it's really great to have a reminder about how healthy this is for your heart.
Absolutely. Lisa, hashtag ribeye. Thank you for all that you do. Have healed from so many things. Most amazing microscopic colitis, collagenous colitis.
Collagenous colitis.
Collagenous. Thank you, Lynn. Collagenous. That sounds a lot better. Collagenous colitis. It's a tongue twister. And fatty liver.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
I love that.
This is one of the reasons I love going to some of these meetings like Meat Stock and the one we're having in San Diego. You hear so many stories of healing like this.
Yeah.
I always think the same thing. This should be front page news. Susie says, I don't have a question, but I love you all, the inspiration you give.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie. We got another Susie. Carnivore 10 days and down 5 pounds. I feel great and fasted 64 hours.
Wow.
Wow. That's a long time.
A long time for a beginning fast. Good job.
That is, yeah.
That's
Susie
impressive.
is serious. All right, we have a question here from Marla.
Can we go before we go to that question? Can you just? I want to say something to the other one because she was only 10 days in, and that is, I think, for most people, some of the hardest days. You're already getting over some of the hardest days on the hump, and so if you are also watching and you started at the beginning of the year, just keep plugging through these first couple of weeks. They're usually the hardest and the most challenging as your body goes through some transformations, some changes, and adaptions. Keep plugging. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it gets easier and easier, and pretty soon you're going to start feeling that carnivore high. You're going to start people are going to say, what's that glow about you? That you got that carnivore glow, and then it's just going to go on from there. So
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ashley, because most people may not feel so well doing a fast that early on. So it's fantastic that she was able to do that, but I wouldn't necessarily say that everybody should be fasting that early on. So hopefully maybe she's an experienced faster. So some people are, and if your body's adapted to it, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff. We love to hear the inspiring stories. Keep them coming and post your best question. We're going to be doing a drawing here shortly for a Healing Humanity shirt. So here's a question from Marla. Maybe we'll give this one to Barb. Hi, all. Good to see you back. I'm still struggling with losing weight and questioning the amount of fat and protein. Some say more fat and some say less, and the same with protein. What to do? ? What do you think, Barb?
Well, that really depends on you. And as far as macros go, I mean, you could say, oh, eat this percentage and that percentage, but it's really going to depend on how you feel. You want to make sure you're getting enough protein. And if you're eating carnivore, you're probably getting enough protein. And then you can play with that fat. How do you feel? Do you have enough energy? Are you satiated? I mean, those are things to look at. And so it's something that, hey, if what you're doing now isn't working, maybe mix it up a little bit. Increase your protein a little, reduce your fat, or vice versa. It's really interesting. Some people do really well increasing their fat and doing a really high fat carnivore. Some people do better with higher protein. Some people do well with mixing it up a little bit. So I just encourage you to test it out. Try upping your protein, dropping your fat, see how that works. Try it in the reverse and just experiment and see what happens with your body.
Great feedback. Thank you, Barb. Adam and I were talking about this before, too. It's interesting because kind of depends on where you're at in your journey, too. I remember when I first started, I could probably get away with less fat because I had a lot of body fat on to burn. So it sort of depends on where you're at in your journey. So I gave Barb the hard part of the question, the easy part. How's Jen? Jen's doing amazing. She's she's getting a little obnoxious about this whole carnivore thing, though. She's been preaching it pretty loud. I'm like, you got to tone this down a little bit.
Wow, it's a role reversal.
It is. It's crazy. I'm like, you owe me an apology, because she's like, you're so obnoxious. Relax.
Oh yeah, she used to give you such a rough time.
Like, you can't even drive down the road. She's yelling out the window at people about carnivore. She won't stop talking about it. Enough already.
She's gonna come running down, going, "That's not true."
We got Dabubba 82. I do the lion diet and have beaten brain cancer and reversed most of my MS symptoms.
That's fantastic.
I like to take beef tallow and blend it with hot water and salt. Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Dude. Oh,
Cancer and MS gone.
I love
Incredible.
to hear that. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to get in contact for Healing Humanity too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might
That's
be a story
amazing.
there. That's beautiful.
I just keep saying in my head, should be front page news, should be front page news, especially like brain cancer. That's incredible. MS too, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like literally, I've heard stories from people, they have lesions and it's in their imaging before carnivore, and then after carnivore, they're going away. It's proven in their medical records. It's like, how is this not on the news? This is so many people going around with MS now, and they don't even know this is a potential option, just another tool in the toolbox.
Right.
Yep.
Our friend Thomas, Target Prime Rib, not a question. Been doing Lion for 15 days now, and not everything is great, but feeling much better. And Adam, no, I don't miss the coffee.
That's awesome. Love that, brother.
Attaboy.
And we got a question from M21467. Another Lion diet. On Lion diet for 3 weeks now. Love everything about it except for sleep. Waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. every night. Advice. Lynn, we've talked about sleep before. What do you think about waking up at 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, there could be an issue with some cortisol going on, and a lot of people will do much better if they eat some fat before they go to sleep, and so maybe try that. Your body may be a little stressed. Hard to say with the change in the diet, so I would definitely recommend trying. Get a mouthful of butter before you go to sleep and see how you do with that. And a lot of people will find they sleep a lot better when they do that.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Good questions tonight. All right, here's one for Adam. Can a loss of electrolyte cause headaches?
It absolutely can cause headaches. There's a lot of things that can cause headaches. Frequently when I'm on a filming shoot and Kerry is there, he sometimes gives me a headache. But no, in all seriousness, you could be dehydrated. So check your water intake. Definitely experiment. Everybody's N equals 1, right? So you have to do what works for you. So experiment with some electrolytes. Just be careful with the magnesium citrate. I would probably stay away from that because that's basically a laxative. So maybe delve into the magnesium glycinate and some of the others. Most of the larger name brand electrolyte companies kind of steer away from that citrate. So I personally am using Salter electrolytes right now. So maybe potentially take a look at those. I'd be interested to hear what Lynn has to think about this.
Yeah, my first thought is if you're having a loss of electrolytes, the question is, are you overhydrating or are you new? So when you're new and you haven't been doing, and you're still in the adaptation phase of doing carnivore, as your inflammation is going down, you urinate a lot. And when you urinate a lot, you lose those electrolytes. So if you're not new and you're in having this issue with electrolytes, I would be wondering if you're overhydrating and you're urinating a lot. So it may be a matter because the more you urinate, the more it sucks those electrolytes out. So I would definitely look at how much water are you drinking. And I know everyone's like, well, drink water, but sometimes you can drink too much. And so that would be the only thing I would add.
I made that mistake on carnivore. Everyone made fun of me on YouTube because I used so much salt, and then I went and had my blood work done, and they said I was low on sodium, and it was just chugging way too much water.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a question from Deborah. Ashley, what do you think on this one? I have been satiating my cravings after dinner with some dairy, like cultured cream or plain yogurt. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I say the same thing about dairy that I'll say to anybody, and that is everybody's definitely different with dairy. So that's the first caveat. I think if you're doing that, I'm gonna be open and real for a minute. I honestly got into a phase where I was doing something similar to that, but what it was doing is it was bringing back some of those late night cravings for me. And so because of the timing of when I was eating. So to me, that would be my biggest concern as far as the after dinner thing. So I started eating more at dinner and trying to really hold off not eating that 9-10 p.m. snack, because that was bringing back some cravings for me. But as far as the dairy goes, I think it's fine personally. I actually have, before the new year started, I got some dairy that I was going to try based on somebody's video out there, and I haven't done it yet. So I haven't had the plain yogurt, but definitely stay away from any sugared yogurts, any flavored yogurts, anything like that are full of sugars. So definitely plain yogurt is the way to go.
Yeah. And also too, if you're new and you're having cravings, then I would say, yeah, use whatever carnivore thing you need to get through those, because you're still adapting. But if you're not new and you're having cravings, then it might be really good to look into what's causing you to have the cravings. And is it that you're not eating enough? Is there something else going on that's not diet related? Is it some stress in your life that's causing it? So I maybe try to dig a little deeper and figure out what's causing those cravings. And it may be that you feel better even if you go take a walk, and that might pass, and you don't necessarily have to turn to food if it's being triggered by just life stress. But if it is not that, it may be that you're not eating enough earlier in the day.
All right. Happy Camper said, hey, I tried your bacon, beef, meatball, and gravy. Yum. Oh, awesome. It's actually not mine. Jen makes those, but I like eating them. We have a question from Nisa. Hello, everyone. This question is for Kerry. Kerry, when I heard your story, you said you were taking anxiety med when you did carnivore. Was it hard to get off from the anxiety medication? My best advice on this, and very important advice, is you have to very carefully wean off your medication with the help of your prescribing doctor, especially when it comes to any mental health medications. It's critical. It's very important. So I did that, and luckily it was rather smooth for me, but I know some people have struggled with that, depending on what you're taking, how long you've been on it before. But I was able to successfully do that, and the anxiety was one of the things I noticed changes in my mood relatively quickly on carnivore. Whenever we talk about anxiety, mental health, depression, I always recommend checking out Dr. Georgia Eads' book. It's incredible. Change your diet, change your mind. Change your diet, change your mind. Oh, wow. We got a lot of questions here. Let's see. We're going to be doing a drawing in just a couple minutes for a Healing Humanity shirt. So make sure to post your best question with #ribeye or your testimony. Here's a question, maybe for Barb. 3 weeks, low carb, but wanting to go carnivore, but worried because I've only been number 2 once. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
Well, the first thing I would say is that you need to make sure that you're eating enough fat. And not sure how low carb you are. So that would be something I would look at. Hey, what are you eating? Are you getting enough healthy fat in there? And then sometimes it takes your system a while to adjust. Maybe add a little bit of fat very gently and see if that moves anything. And again, your body is going through a transition. So you may have some ups and downs with it, but that would be my main suggestion. Lynn, do you have anything to add to that?
I'd also look to see if you're getting enough sodium. Lots of times when you switch your diet, you stop having packaged foods. You don't necessarily realize that how much sodium you were getting. And sodium, when you consume sodium, water follows sodium. And so it will draw more fluid into your gut and soften those stools up and get those stools moving more. So it could be also, it's like Barb said, fat. It could be water. It could be sodium. And then only once in 3 weeks, That's definitely not ideal, and I completely get it. But I think the longest I went one time was 14 days, but without having bowel movement, and that's not what you want. You need to be eliminating your waste. So if you need to, you can take some magnesium glycinate and titrate. You can titrate up. Usually people start with about 400 milligrams, but titrate to make sure you're not having loose stools. But I would definitely address what Barb said first in the sodium and just see how that goes. But also, as we talk about very often, redefining constipation is very important too. When you're eliminating all the fiber, if I would ask, are you feeling bloated? Are you feeling uncomfortable when you do go? Is it difficult to pass? Is it hard? If it's not, then that's definitely much better. You don't want to have any pain, discomfort, any hard stools and have to strain. So very often we find that that's not the case when we eliminate the carbs, but you definitely want to get things moving.
All right. Here's a question for Adam. Carnivore Today, amazing YouTube channel. I believe you had a specialist on in this regard. I'm a first-time viewer. Any suggestions for lipedema, lymphedema? Just started carnivore about a month ago.
That's a really great question, Debbie. So first and foremost, I do feel like that carnivore could help you out in this situation. There are some little nuances with these two conditions that you want to pay attention to. I did interview a doctor that specializes in these conditions. Her name's Dr. Leslie Keith, and I actually have posted the link in the chat. Initially, I posted a comment, but didn't put the link, and then I put the link later. So maybe Kerry can find that and highlight that. But go watch that video, and her contact information is on there as well. I know a lot of people with this condition have also benefited from a vibration plate, so that's one thing to consider as well. But you have to be careful with it. So I'd be interested to hear what Lynn's comments are on this.
I was absolutely going to agree about the vibration plate because that helps to get things moving. But we can take a lesson from Bill Knott. Okay, he had some major issues with his lymphedema, and he ended up with a blockage. And if you've watched his old channel, which unfortunately got hacked and we don't have access to, he ended up with a lengthy time trying to figure out what was going on. And I understand actually, though, that was before he had the vibration plate. And I think it was the vibration plate that actually solved his problem, got things moving. So start slow, because when you start getting your lymphatic system moving, you can feel worse before you feel better. So don't just start very slow and spend a little bit of time on it and then ramp it up.
And I'm really happy you mentioned Bill Knott. I have a quick announcement to make. Everyone keeps asking me this. Bill Knott's new YouTube channel will be premiering his very first video tomorrow afternoon. So please, 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 everyone go give Bill some love. Subscribe to his new channel. It's very sad and unfortunate. People in the world are going to hack someone's YouTube channel, but that's unfortunately what happened to Bill's previous channel. But brand new video coming out tomorrow. Bill and Daisy, Alaska. The channel isn't up yet, but it'll be announced tomorrow. I'll be posting about it on my community tab and spreading the good word, hoping we can get him back up to the same number of subscribers he had before he was hacked.
More,
yes. All right, our next question is, let me see here. Here's a good one for Ashley. Is it normal for an A1C to go from 5.8 to a 6.1 within 6 months while on carnivore?
Yes, I've heard that a lot. It just depends on a few things, but your A1C is, of course, your measurement over, it's a 3-month average. If you've been on carnivore, it should be lower than that. I don't know where it came from before that, but a lot of people do experience that creep up a little bit. There are some theories behind that. I don't know that there's anything been proven as to why that is. But I definitely noticed a little bit. I think mine at the lowest was 5.7 and then went back up to 5.9. It's again, for me, being very strict carnivore, I saw that myself too, but I've heard a lot of that too. I don't know the real explanation as to why, though. I don't know if Lynn or anybody else has something else they could add to that as to the why behind that.
I mean, potentially too much protein. I mean, Adam and Barb and I are currently studying all this. So my first thought is possibly too much protein. And so maybe tweak the protein fat ratio and maybe lower the protein. And I don't know if the focus has been on protein. And so it's really important to, get the fatty meat, but you may be getting too much protein, because if you're getting too much protein, your body's got to do something with it, and it converts it over to glucose. And so that could cause a problem. There's been theories also that when you're not eating carbs, that your red blood cells live longer. And there's some people who have naturally red blood cells that live longer. And so there are some testing that you can get done if you are curious. I think it's a reticulocyte count. You guys let me know if that's it or if I'm missing it. But there's some ways of testing. I think of maybe a fructosamine to test to see. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah. But I would say too, don't panic or anything, because maybe make some tweaks, lower your protein a little bit, raise the fat up, and then watch it. Get tested again in another 3 months and see which direction it's heading in.
The other thing I was going to add to that, and I should have said it earlier too, Julie, is one of the things that I also, I can't remember the video I saw it on, but it made a lot of sense to me too, is I'm not sure if you're doing any kind of movement, walking, especially after a meal. I've heard that can be really good too, to release some of that from your muscles that's already stored there, and help keep the A1C numbers down.
I got one thing to add to that, since Lynn said we're studying on this. The standard, I believe, is roughly 90 days is the average life of a red blood cell. So the A1C is taken off of the glycation of those red blood cells. So if the red blood cells live longer, your A1C will naturally go up. And there are people that have conditions where their red blood cells don't live very long at all. They live 30 days or 45 days. And in those folks, their A1C might be like 0.5 or 1.5. Yeah. So we know that if red blood cells don't live as long, they're not able to be glycated as much. So their A1C will be very low. So it only begs the question, well, if they do live longer, which it's hypothesized that in a carnivore, they do live longer, that your A1C would naturally go up. But again, there's no real, very solid science around that, but that could be one explanation.
Yeah. And that would not be a clinically significant rise. It'd be more concerning for people who are getting these low values in their hemoglobin A1C when it's really a problem with the life of the red blood cells, and they actually do have a problem. And so I would also make sure that you get a fasting insulin level as well. And just to check and make sure that, you don't want to have your insulin levels continue to go down and your blood sugar continuing to go up. You want to make sure that your blood sugar stabilizes or definitely comes back down as your insulin levels are going down as well.
Great questions. Good discussion. All right. We are going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt right now. Do we have a drum roll?
Yep.
There we go. Drum roll, please. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is Hotel Diablo 312. Adam, how can Hotel Diablo 312 claim their prize?
Well, Kerry, Hotel Diablo 312 can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. Fill out the form, and Ashley will send you your shirt promptly. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, we're going to do another giveaway right now. We are going to give away a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life, our membership site. We got 12 plus Zoom calls going a week, a book club. We have a doctor expert on, usually on Wednesdays. We just did our Thursday Inspire Together Q&A on Tuesdays. We are a community to help you on your path to healing. You can get 50% off your first month right now. Promo code in the description below. But we're going to give away a free month to the best question that also has #life, where you've also subscribed to each of the people here on the screen. So post your best question or testimony with #life. And very shortly, we're going to do a drawing for that one as well. All right, our next question. Let me put this away. Here we go. Next question we have is, actually, we got a comment from the man, the myth, the legend, the real Dr. Nelson, member for 20 months. I want to point out that all of these people are great. Let's heal humanity together. Thank you, Dr.
Amen.
Nelson.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson.
Dr. Nelson
Love
is
you,
great.
brother.
Dr. Nelson is sitting on a beach in San Diego right now.
I will.
Oh, he's not far from me.
We'll take this opportunity to remind everybody who joined in late that 2 days from now we have our Healing Humanity meetup in San Diego, California. It is not too late to get your tickets.
Got a couple
You can
tickets
see
left.
the real Dr. Nelson live and in person. He'll help
Dr.
answer your questions and probably make you laugh with all his razzle dazzle stand-up comedy routine.
Dr. Nelson is a man of many talents. I heard he's got a new stand-up special he's going to be delivering right for us in San Diego in 2 days. So come join us if you'd like.
Hopefully, get some respect this time.
Speaking of San Diego, Trudy Moore said, see you all Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Yay.
All right.
All right. We have a question from Elkie. Hubby has super high cholesterol. Lean mass hyperresponder, 0 CAC. Cardiologist speaking with colleagues, sending him for CT angiogram. Doctors are very confused. Hope he understands now. Carnivore is the way to heal. I don't know if that was a question or a comment, maybe a little bit of both, but
love the fact that he's got high cholesterol, low lean mass hyperresponder, but 0 CACs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds like he's
Yeah.
right on track.
boom.
There are a lot of studies out there that you can share with that confused doctor because this should not be a surprise to doctors who are really looking into the truth about cholesterol and how important it is for our diet and how important it is for your brain, for every part of your body, and how LDL is not bad when you're on carnivore because you've got the big fluffy particles. So yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome when you got these doctors scratching their heads and talking amongst themselves. Like, that's awesome.
good stuff. All right. And we have a question from Melissa. Maybe we'll shoot this one to Barb, if you don't mind. My nephew just had a lung collapse. He is 16 and thin, which the doctor said is more common in that group of people. He also has asthma. Does anyone know if carnivore could help with those things, asthma?
So definitely not a doctor, but any of that asthma, I mean, that's inflammation. And so carnivore, just by definition, is a low inflammatory diet. So taking out all of that sugar, which is super pro-inflammatory, is really going to help with that. So yes, definitely, I think that carnivore would really help him. Again, check with your doctor and all of that. But I mean, I really think that he would see a benefit.
Absolutely.
I'd be curious to know if he has Marfan syndrome, which is really common with tall, thin. A lot of times it's young men. They have the lung collapsing, and I absolutely agree. I've heard a ton of testimonies of asthma being helped with carnivore and getting better and completely resolving. But I'd be curious to see. Did they know? Does he have Marfan syndrome? And I think it's more of a structural thing, but when you're eating protein and you're getting those building blocks for your tissues, it definitely can't hurt.
One thing to comment on that too, she mentioned that he's thin. Carnivore is a weight optimization diet. It's not really a weight loss diet. So people that are thin, if they're consuming enough fat, that fat goes directly into your lymphatic system and goes directly to your fat cells. So it could help to potentially bring his weight up as well.
All right. Kim did my very first fat today from 5:30 yesterday. I think that's fast.
It must be fast.
Did my very first fast today from 5:30 yesterday to today at 3. So I made it 21 and a half hours. Huge success for me. Going to keep going as OMAD and get to the 24-hour mark until I can get to 2 days and on.
Awesome.
Well done.
That's
Great
the right way to do it. That's a good way to do it, is gradually work your way up.
Yeah, don't white knuckle it. I've tried that before.
Yeah.
It didn't work well.
It's fasting's so good for you. I always encourage people too, if you're going to do a fast, we've got pretty good habits on carnivore, but some of us dairy or cheese or just make one little change after you do that fast. It's like it's sort of a good time to maybe reset or switch things up a little bit. I actually stopped drinking. There's nothing wrong with this either, by the way. Carbonated water, just for the heck of it. I was just drinking so much of it. The last time I did a fast, I was going to stop for a while. I haven't had any in, I think, like 2 weeks now. What is a good rule of thumb? This is from Terry Williams. What is a good rule of thumb for ounces of water per day? Adam, what do you think on that one?
I've never been one to, set a standard for really anyone or based on weight. Really it just comes down to how you feel. I always drink when I'm thirsty, and I don't drink when I'm not. And my body will give me clues if I'm not having enough water or I'm not getting enough water in my food, or potentially there's some sort of an imbalance, and it's usually something like mild headache or cramps. And then I will always, up my water intake, try to be a little bit more hydrated and take some electrolytes. I know some out there will follow, so many ounces per grams or pounds of weight, but I typically don't follow that. I'd be interested to hear what Barb has to think about this.
Yeah, I would say drink to thirst. And I mean, if you're well nourished in your body, your thirst signals should be good. But I will say, Kerry talking about carbonated water. Sometimes if you're drinking carbonated water or something else, I know personally for me, I tend to drink less. So if you're concerned about the amount of water you're drinking, kind of focus on water and just use that as your beverage. But again, I would drink to thirst.
I have one thing to add, one caveat, and that is age does matter. For people who are elderly, your thirst sensor in your brain does not work as well, especially if, years and years of not being on a good diet. The thirst is it's a known established medical fact that in the elderly, it's your brain that tells you when you're thirsty, but that stops working properly for elderly. So for the people who are elderly, I would absolutely recommend working your way up to about 64 ounces of water a day. If you can get 40, that's great, but it's very common. Dehydration is incredibly common in the elderly, and it can be very serious. And so for elderly people, I would schedule your drinking water and try to get somewhere around 64 ounces a day.
All right. And we've got thinking for myself. Hashtag ribeye. My migraines are gone, gone, gone. Thank you, Carnivore.
That's awesome.
That's one of Jen's biggest wins as well, getting over those migraines.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alyssa has a question. I'm 4 months postpartum and breastfeeding. How can I safely transition to carnivore and keep my milk supply?
Who wants to take this
Lynn,
one?
Barb? You're going to defer to the ladies first.
Probably.
So, yeah, go ahead, Barb. I was going to say, go ahead, Barb.
Yeah, well, so I personally don't have experience with this, but I do know several people who have done this. And I think that if you're transitioning and doing that, you need to make sure that you're eating enough and that you're staying hydrated, and that whatever you do, you kind of do it slowly, because you want to make sure you're nourished so you can feed that baby and that everybody stays healthy. And maybe if you want to go carnivore, maybe it'd be wise to wait a little bit and see. And it's not something you have to do right now. So again, get your doctor's opinion, but I know several people that have successfully done that, had carnivore pregnancies, have nursed through carnivore. I don't know that I know of somebody who transitioned though while breastfeeding.
Yeah, this is where we need Dr. Kiltz to come in
right.
and yeah, exactly. I mean, but I know that your body is creating, the breast milk is created for women that are eating standard American diet. Your breast milk is still a high fat, very nutritious meal for your baby. And so it's a matter, I agree with Barb, making sure that you're getting adequate nutrition for yourself. And it might be my big thing, and I agree with Barb about maybe, waiting, is that when you're transitioning, you can lack energy. And so if you're already dealing with a 4-month-old baby, you might find it a little challenging to go through that adaptation phase where, you're maybe a little extra tired while you're transitioning over into ketosis. So I absolutely agree to take it slow and make sure you're hydrating well.
All right. And Bartra has a question. I was told that I need a full and total hip replacement. Have any of you interviewed anyone or a doctor that was able to avoid a hip replacement with Carnivore, or has had patients that were able to avoid it?
Dr. Baker.
Baker, yeah. You definitely
Yes.
do check out Dr. Baker's channel, orthopedic surgeon who wrote the book on Carnivore because of how many people he witnessed in his practice, in fact, that were able to really, the pain started going away so much they canceled surgeries. And so he talks about it quite frequently on his channel. Not saying that that's going to be your situation, but that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
A lot of that pain that you feel in the hips and the joints like that is inflammation. And when you get rid of that inflammation, that can make a significant difference.
Yeah, the hospital actually went after his medical license because he was having people avoid surgery. He got it back, so that's good.
Richard says, been carnivore for 6 months, still have headaches bad and high blood pressure. AFib has gone down 60 pounds, still keeping the faith. Praise the Almighty and bless all. I watch you all.
I'm sorry to hear that you still have headaches and high blood pressure, but your AFib is gone, which is awesome. And you're down 60 pounds, which is amazing. One thing that I do want to make sure to mention to everyone that's watching is, you can feed your body the proper nutrients. You can nourish your body the right way, but the human body is as far as optimal health, it's a whole package, right? So you've got mental, spiritual, and physical, and you have to tend to those other two as well. And if you're under any kind of a stress, that can be a major factor in what's going on with headaches. I know people personally that they overthink things too much. And I'm not saying that this is you. I'm just saying this is a potential to look into as a lifestyle. You could have things in your environment that are causing this as well. So just some things to look out for there. But I'm really happy for the successes that you've had so far. And I think, if you continue with this and keep experimenting and digging into yourself, you'll probably eventually figure out what's going on.
Yeah, getting rid of that AFib is huge, incredible. I know having AFib is a precursor to heart attacks and strokes and all sorts of bad stuff, so that's amazing. All right, we have another question here. This question is from All Thumbs Kitten. I haven't fasted yet. When and how long should I fast?
I would say that fasting is not required. I think that's especially depending on where you're at in your journey. I think that's one of the things. I think people naturally begin to fast really without knowing because they're so much more satiated. If you're eating enough protein and fat, your body naturally is satiated. And if you're trying to eat when your body signals that you're hungry, you naturally begin to fast. And that's where some people work up to the, a 16, 18, 24-hour fast. But fasting can be very healing for your body as well. So if it is something you've been traveling down and doing that, I don't have the book in front of me, but there's definitely a lot of resources. What's it called? The Phoenix Protocol is one that talks a lot about fasting and specifics there, but it's definitely very healing for your body. And as you progress in this journey, it may be something you want to look more into, but it's absolutely not a requirement.
And Donna just signed up for a Healing Humanity Life a few minutes ago. It's good to be home again.
Hey, Donna, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Donna. You guys want to join Donna? There's a promo code scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Link in the description below. Get you 50% off your first month. Here's a question. I'm a 60-year-old female. What do I need to do differently or be concerned about when diving into carnivore? Barb, what do you think? Is there anything you need to do as a female practicing carnivore?
No, and being 60 is a great time of life to do it. I mean, I don't think you need to do anything differently. Although I would say for most people, a slow transition into carnivore might be better, kind of ease into it so you don't get those keto flu symptoms. I mean, and this kind of depends on your personality. I mean, I'm kind of one of those people that I just jumped in and I was already low carb, so I didn't have a lot of transition issues. But some people have significant discomfort. So I would say just go slow, listen to your body, and have fun with it. See what it's going to do. I'm excited for you. I really think it's a game changer.
Yeah. And definitely for probably everybody that is about this age, we were raised being told low fat. And so my only thing I would add is be aware. Don't get caught into the fear of fat mindset, which we grew up with, and embrace the fat.
And make sure you eat enough. I mean, that's the other thing. A lot of times starting carnivore, people are a lot more satiated and you're used to that restriction mindset if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, and just make sure you're keeping yourself nourished.
Absolutely. All right. Has anyone used an indoor smoker? I'm going to lean on Adam and Ashley here, our resident smokers.
Ashley, that's on you, buddy. The only smoker I use is when the smoke alarm goes off.
That's the only indoor smoker right there. When you're doing something. No, I have not used an indoor smoker, and unfortunately, I'm not an expert on that. Outdoor smoker, I can give you some tips and tricks. I love my outdoor smokers, but not an indoor. So I don't know, actually. I don't know if anybody else has ever used one of those. I'd be a little concerned myself, but I know the situation is apartment living there, and so I don't know the right answer on that.
Thinking that's a single person's tool.
I haven't intentionally used an indoor one, but I oftentimes leave my window wide open with the smoker right outside it, and have the best dreams at night when I do that.
Right.
All right, Dawn Bailey, question: will blood sugar go down on carnivore while weight is still higher? I notice if I fast, it goes higher, blood sugar, like even 150, even if I fast. Wanting to heal diabetes, keto recently.
I'm wondering if the fasting is probably not a good thing for you right now, because it may be that your blood sugar is going higher. I mean, the blood sugar can go higher because fasting is a stressor. So it may be that fasting isn't necessarily the best option for you right now. I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
I definitely think, this happens with quite a few people that fast. That cortisol goes up and ends up creating or exchanging the protein into glucose through that gluconeogenesis process and raising your blood sugar. So I definitely would, because it's not really required, I would probably back off on the fasting, at least until you get the diabetes under control. But there's a number of factors that go into this that really I'd love to, ask some more questions and get some more feedback.
And the first part of the question about will the blood sugar go down while still heavy? Yes, it will. So the weight loss should come as your blood sugar gets better controlled, because your insulin levels are getting better control at the same time. And so some people see weight come off fast and other people see it come off slow, but your blood sugar will improve even if you're still heavy.
Yes, for sure.
All right, here's a good question for Adam. I know Adam's gone down the road with coffee. I usually have a cup of coffee in the morning, then 3 over easy eggs with real butter. Should I stop drinking coffee?
I would say if you're asking that question, you probably should. Every coffee drinker has probably asked this question at one time or two. So there is a great book called Caffeine Blues. The dietary recommendations in there, I would not follow them, but the science and the information that's provided around caffeine is pretty spot on. So I definitely would read that book. Caffeine is essentially a neurotoxin. So if you can at least maybe go decaf, that will definitely help out with things. But honestly, in the end, when you look at it, if you're carnivore, it's you're drinking burnt embryo juice from plants. So that doesn't sound very appetizing.
Sounds delicious.
Hey, thanks for that.
That's like the perfect way to phrase it to a group of carnivores. Discuss them.
Although we eat eggs.
Right.
Shh. All right, moving on. Snow C7X. When you start a carnivore lion diet, how long will it take to stop itching from eczema and plaque psoriasis? Anyone here on the panel have any ideas on that one?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would do low histamine. I would make sure that your food is very fresh, and you might want to stick with ruminant meats, and maybe you may not be able to do things like bacon or egg whites. And so the itching is a histamine response. Whether the plaques, and the skin clears up, that will come. But I think if you're really careful with sticking low histamine, you'll probably find that the itching is going to improve even faster than the skin improves, and the skin will follow.
The best case I can think of is check out Stephen Lashbrook. Lash, he's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We filmed him for the documentary. He had psoriasis, and I know for him, it was strict lion diet and lots of sunshine was the other thing that he was recommending. But he's got some great videos out there, so maybe check out some of those. All right, our next question is from Vitatos. Full carnivore for the past 3 months, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs only, not much health improvement. And I didn't lose any weight. Can someone help, please?
This is another one where getting more input would definitely help. What health issues are you having? Maybe you can leave that in the comments for us. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think that 3 months at this point, there should be something. I wouldn't necessarily look specifically at weight. I would look at body composition. I would look to see how are your clothes fitting. Maybe if you haven't already, take measurements, and just so that you can, even if you didn't establish a baseline at the beginning, get one now, because so often your body composition is changing and the scale doesn't budge. So from the weight perspective, that could be what's going on there. I know that early on, I gained a lot of muscle, I gained bone, and so your body is changing, and of course muscle weighs more than fat, so that could be an issue, like an explanation for the weight. Other health concerns, though, I definitely agree with Adam. I think we would need to know more, and it could be that it may be the ratios of what you're eating as far as the fat to protein ratio. It could be that maybe you need to go lion diet, drop the bacon and eggs, and see how you do on a lion diet, because some health concerns and some health issues need that lion diet. And again, bacon and the whites from eggs are both high histamine. So if you have histamine issues, it could be that you need to get rid of the higher histamine foods and focus on the ruminant meats to get that healing. I had to do that like 4 or 5 months into carnivore. I realized I had to do low histamine carnivore. And that's literally when my health just took a big old, right turn, and it started getting so much better. It was that little tweak that did it for me.
All right, we got a lot of questions coming in here. Here's one from Tony. Tony, I have a question. I did carnivore diet for a week and gained 6 pounds. What would cause that when I was just eating steak, egg, and ground beef? What do you think, Barb?
I think it's probably one of two extremes. Either you're eating too much or you're not eating enough. And I'm probably going to go with not eating enough. Now, I said this before, but a lot of times people don't eat enough, and you need that fuel for your body. And if you're not giving it what it needs, your body's going to say, hey, I'm going to hold on to everything I have, and I'm going to double down and make sure that I'm not going to starve. So that would be my first thought. Yeah, how much are you eating? And then maybe just the timing of when you're eating, and just kind of play around with that and track for a couple of days. I know on carnivore we say, hey, you don't have to track anything, and you don't have to, but it's good to just figure out where you are, how much you're eating, what you're doing, and then maybe just note how you feel when you eat. And that would give you some information to kind of break your stall a little bit.
Great advice. Good stuff. I can't believe we're at the end of the hour already. We got to do a drawing right now for a 30-day membership at healinghumanity.life. Here we go. Drum roll, please. The winner of a 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life is Alyssa Evans. Congratulations, Alyssa. Adam, where can Alyssa claim her prize?
Well, Kerry, Alyssa Evans can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you a access code for healinghumanity.life. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And for those that didn't win or interested in joining, you can get 50% off your first month right now. Special offer in the description below. Before we wrap things up, Adam, Ashley, Barb, Lynn, do you guys have anything coming up you want to announce or shout out or mention?
I don't have anything coming up. If you want to meet us in San Diego, grab your tickets while you can. We'll be there on Saturday. One thing I did want to mention is we did get a lot of influx of questions here at the end, and we try to thoughtfully go through each one of these questions as much as we can while we're here. If we didn't get to your question, we apologize for that. But we do have Q&As, weekly Q&As, 2 Q&As that you can ask these and unlimited questions in our membership site, Healing Humanity Life. So there's a coupon code at the bottom for half off of that. Use the code LIFE126 there. And you'll be able to ask all your questions in there and connect with us directly in there with DMs and all that happy fun stuff. And we'd love to have you. So, it's very fun to do this journey together. And we heal together and learn together. So I just wanted to mention that we don't intentionally ignore these questions. It's just we don't have time to get to all of them. So,
yeah. And Adam mentioned San Diego. I'm going to go ahead and put another plug in for Charleston, South Carolina, about a month away. So if you're in that area or can make it out there, we'd love to get you meet you there. If you miss San Diego, that's our next one. So love to hopefully see you there.
Good stuff. Barb, do you have anything coming up?
Just Meat Stock, May 2nd and 3rd in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Get your tickets, meatstock.com.
Love it. And Lynn?
All right. So this doesn't have anything to do with Carnivore, but for those of you guys who are like curious to know what's going on with this property that we've been trying to buy, we are in contract. We are moving. We have to be out of our current house February 5th. We are going to be moving into this crazy Frank Lloyd Wright style house. I will plan on before then do a video tour and post it on my channel. And I'm anxious to hear what people think. We're going to be doing a lot of work on it. So I'd love to get some feedback on what you guys think of this crazy house we're moving into.
That's exciting. Lynn's doing all sorts of adventures now. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm healthy enough. I can.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
Of all time for women. Thinking for myself.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, the only announcement I mentioned earlier, but I know there's some new people on here. Bill Knott, new YouTube channel drops tomorrow. And I did an interview with Barb, I always mess this up, the Crocheting Grandma Carnivore Corner. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Grandma's Crochet Corner.
Grandma's Crochet Corner, Barbara. She has an incredible story. I interviewed her, and that video is going live tomorrow on my channel. And then immediately after that, at the end of the video, because Bill was such a huge inspiration for Barb, we're asking everyone to go over to Bill's new channel to be announced tomorrow. So go subscribe, give him some love, leave him some positive comments. And thank you guys all so much for joining us and for your wonderful questions. We do this every week. We'll see you on the next one, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Night.